think I could on paper do it, but excuse me. Let's get into this this NPR story, because this is the real story. Right here. Now, some of you might have heard this before. It's an NPR story, and it's about Heider and I, and it's not shining. It's not in favor of us. It's not sympathetic towards the elections investigations, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Let's see if we can get it up.
That Glenn?
It sounded worse
Wise,
than it to sound. Sorry,
meat
guys.
honey. So this woman, Aubrey, has been calling elections administrators all over Texas for nearly 2 years. And as a case study of people trying to coax others over to their side, it's not going too well. She questions them.
I disagree.
Accuses them. There's one call, I want to play a little bit of kind of sums things up. At the beginning of the call, the official is very calm, saying things like,
Aubrey, you brought up a lot of things, so I wanted to tackle them one by one.
but pretty quickly, Aubrey is asking him about things that he can't comment on because they're the subject of lawsuits. Lawyers have told him not to talk about them publicly. But Aubrey, she doesn't accept that. She keeps pushing.
Your county attorneys, they don't want you to give information to the voters?
All I'm telling you is I'm following their advice, Aubrey, and I look forward to a time when I'm able to talk more freely about this.
So you're not able to talk freely about the issues in the elections because one part of it has been filed with the court of law?
Aubrey, did you not understand what I said earlier when I said I'm not?
I do not. Could you help me understand?
I think I've spoken clearly in English that I can't speak about this because of the current and ongoing litigation.
As you can hear, this gets hotter and hotter.
You're not prohibited.
He's an elections administrator in a county in central Texas and has had years of stop the stealers now questioning him like this. They flood elections offices with records requests.
If you want to hear the
they
whole
sue.
recording of that
For
whole
long,
conversation,
in
it's
this
on my
call,
telegram
Aubrey is
channel.
quoting Texas legal code that she believes
That's myself and
mandates
Chris Davis
that
from
all
Williamson
ballots in
County.
Texas should be pre-numbered sequentially, starting at 1, which isn't done today with computers counting votes. And the elections administrator.
It sure isn't, and in fact, I mean, it's okay because like I can cite my sources. Let's see. It's okay. It's not only in the state statutes, it's in our Constitution. Let's go right down here. This is just because, Chris Davis doesn't want to review the national and state Constitution. If the election administrator for Williamson County would not review the state statutes relevant to the items I was bringing up or relevant to his job in general, why would Natalie Contreras or any of her minions? Now, that male voice speaking was not Natalia. That was, I don't know. But she's about to start her little report on me. So let's just see this. Let's see. Elections by ballot. I guess I'll just, share this tab instead, because this is what Chris Davis has. He's got a little bit of a problem with this one. Okay, so this is the Texas Constitution, Article 6, Section 4. Elections by ballot. Purity of elections and registration of voters. Quote, in all elections by the people, the vote shall be by ballot, and the legislature shall provide for the numbering of tickets and make such other regulations as may be necessary to detect and punish fraud and preserve the purity of the ballot box. And the legislature shall provide by law for the registration of all voters. Okay, so let's just go right here. And the legislature shall provide for the numbering of tickets and to make other such regulations as may be necessary to detect and punish fraud. Okay? So, that's our state constitution. Our ballots are to be numbered, okay? But it also says that the legislature will determine how our ballots are numbered. Let's go and see how they determined our ballots should be numbered. Shall we then? Let's just go right back over here. It's okay, because I've got it right here. It's not like I can't cite my sources, and I'd understand if I was just, talking out my ass. I'd understand. However, we do have, actually a law for that. Can you believe that the legislature took their plenary power and actually did something with it as ordained by the state constitution? Let's do this one. Let's see. We're going to go all the way down to 52.062, numbering of ballots. Boop. Now I'm gonna zoom in and highlight it for you, okay? Because it's right here. All right. Can y'all see that? If I zoom in, it's gonna kind of. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. See, if I zoom in, it's gonna mess it up. Anyway, this is Texas Election Code 52.062, numbering of ballots. This is a state statute. This was drafted, debated, and passed by our state legislature as ordained, specifically for the numbering of tickets, right? So as ordained by the state constitution, as is their plenary duty as ordained by the national constitution, Article 1, Section 4. Shall we review that as well? Where it says the time, place, and manner of election shall be determined in each state by the legislature thereof. Yeah. So the legislature actually did what they were supposed to do, and they came up with a law. And what is this law meant to do? To provide for the numbering of tickets and make such other regulations as may be necessary to detect and punish fraud. 52.062 says, quote, the ballots prepared by each authority responsible for having the official ballot prepared shall be numbered consecutively, beginning with the number 1. All right? I'm going to do you one better. The reason that we know they are meant to be numbered, pre-numbered consecutively, is due to another Texas election code. And I'm going to show you where it is. We're going to go down here to chapter 62. 62.009, right here. All right. Oh, let's highlight this whole thing, shall we? Okay. We're learning, guys. This is another state statute, Texas state statute. Again, this was drafted, debated, and passed by our state legislature to provide for the numbering of tickets and make other such regulations as may be necessary to detect and punish fraud, as ordained by the state and national constitution. Okay? So let's go here. We're going to show right here. 62.009, disarranging ballots for voter selection. Quote, as needed for voting, an election officer shall disarrange a supply of the ballots so that they are in random numerical order. All right? The disarranged ballots shall be placed face down on a table in a manner preventing an election officer or other person from ascertaining the number of a ballot selected by a voter. All right. And finally, the provisional ballot shall be placed separately from the regular ballots. But obviously, the key here is that they are referring to disarranging the ballots with the number side down prior to the ballot being selected by a voter. See, it is illegal to hand a voter a ballot because that ballot should be pre-numbered and nobody should be able to trace a ballot back to a voter. So that means nobody should know the ballot number except for the voter. The voter and only the voter should know their ballot number. So the legislature has, in fact, provided for the numbering of tickets and made such other regulations as may be necessary to detect and punish fraud. And I just thought that, if you're gonna report on something, wouldn't you want to get it right? Wouldn't you want to know what the fuck you're talking about? Look, maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe maybe that's just not what journalism is anymore. I think that we can all agree journalism has been dead for a long time. It is a festering, rotten corpse. So, but anyways, let's get back to the article because I actually quite enjoy this next segment.